Hey, it's Greg here with maritimegardening.com. Thought I'd do a really quick video on drying herbs. I've got some oregano here. I'm going to start with the finished product first, and then I'm going to show you how I got there. So these are just cookie sheets. I've got them on an island in my kitchen in a spot where there's some degree of airflow, but not in the sun. So I got a bit of airflow. They're not in direct sunlight. There's indirect sun, but they're not like baking in the sun, okay? And they've been here about a week. And these are all ready to go. Oregano seeds, no stems, no sticks, no dirt, no nothing, right? Nice and clean, ready to go, right? These are all ready to just be put, I just put them in a jar and put the lid on and leave them. Okay, so let me show you how I did this. And it took about a week. Didn't do, all I did was put them here and wait, right? Let me show you how I did this. Just put these over here for now. Jar them up later. I usually do 2 cookie sheets at a time. Although my wife isn't too crazy about this technique because it ties up with the cookie sheets. All right, so I got some oregano here that I just picked from the garden. It's just starting to go to flower a bit. Ideally, you pick them before this happens, but if they start going to flower, it's not the end of the world. Just make that as your sign. Once you start seeing flowers in your oregano, you should cut them all off the crown, you know, off the base, and dry them out. I mean, you can use them as well. You can use them as fresh herbs, but if you got a lot of oregano like me, you want to save it for later on in the winter. Okay, and if you got a couple of these flowers in with your dried herbs, it's not the end of the world. I'm sure there's someone that's going to comment about how good they are for tea or for who knows what. I really don't know. I don't know what the flowers are used for. I just use these for cooking, you know, delicious pasta meals and stuff like that. Okay, but yeah, please put your comments if you have some use for the flowers that you know about. I'm curious to know. Here's the tedious part. I usually just put on a podcast, something to listen to. I got some crappy leaves down here, so I just remove those, right? And then I just pull off the good leaves, right? And you just do that for every, so I mean, you can dry them by laying them out like this, okay? But then at some point, you have to remove the leaves anyway. And it can be difficult to remove the leaves after they've dried without getting little sticks and stems and stuff. It's hard to avoid. So the process goes a lot quicker if you just do it when they're green like this. They also dry faster, right? If you dry them on the stems, they can draw, the stems still have moisture in them, right? So they can still draw out moisture from the stems. So when you take them off like this, they dry a lot faster. And when you're done, there's not going to be any sticks or stems or whatever, right? And it's also good for, you're kind of giving everything a once over, like here's a weed. I don't know what this is, but I don't want it in my oregano, right? Don't want that in my pasta, right? Also, when you're doing it this way, you're examining the plant. You get one last chance to check for bugs or bad leaves or, you know, slug poop or whatever, whatever could be there, right? So, you know, it's a little bit of a tedious process, but it doesn't take long once you get a bit of a rhythm going. Get, you know, things like this. Great thing to get your kids to do. Helps them develop fast hands, right? It's a good quality to have, fast hands. When you got a lot of oregano like this, you don't have to be too fussy about what you're keeping and what you're throwing away, right? It's more about, in my opinion anyway, it's about speed and volume, right? Getting her done, right? But yeah, this is a great way to develop those fast hands that help get everything done. Lots of people are always saying, you know, how do you do this? How do you do that? That sort of thing. You know, there's only so many hours in the day. I'm too busy, blah, 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 blah. Fast hands. Fast hands solve a lot of problems quick. Maybe they could put that on my gravestone. All right. So the more you do it, you know, stalk after stalk after stalk after stalk, you start getting, you know, a bit of a rhythm, right? You start getting faster and faster at it. Here I'm almost done, so I'm just going to fast forward to the end here because I've run into things to talk about while I'm completing this. I'll see you at the next stage of this. Okay, so now I've shucked all the leaves off of those oregano. I can give this a quick once over, look for anything weird, right? Any discolored leaves like those, right? Just toss them out. Any flowers, anything that doesn't belong. Here's a flower, I'll get rid of that. And you just space them out like that. You can put paper underneath these, like, paper towel. That will speed up the drying as well. But I just don't find it's necessary. Like, just a cookie sheet is fine. Okay, you got them all spaced out like this. Maybe halfway through the week, you just like shuffling cards, the way kids do, halfway through the week, or you can do it every day, but at least once, maybe move them around. You don't have to, but it helps, right? And then after about a week, they'll be like this, nice and dry. You just pack them into a jar and use them as you need them. You can do this with any kind of herb, really, especially ones that have a growing pattern like this. And especially herbs that have, there's a problem once they're dry. I find thyme can be like this, where once they're dry, it's very difficult to get the leaves off without getting little sticks in with it, which you don't, some sticks, you don't want them in your food because it's almost like having fish bones, right? So this way it dries nice and fast, no sticks. You've given everything a good, it's just natural. As you're shucking them off the stems, you're inspecting things, you're only putting the good ones in. And of course, when they're all done, you lift them off. So any sand or dirt or rocks or anything that was there, it should, by gravity, just fall into here. Don't pour them off, right? Lift them out to put them into the jar. That way, anything that's down here that's dense, like a tiny piece of sand or a fleck of dirt, it should stay in the pan, right? That's all I do. Hope you found that interesting. If you did, please like, share, subscribe. Check out my podcast at maritimegardening.com. Check out my articles at maritimegardening.substack.com. And until next time, get out there, get at it, have fun in your garden. Thanks for watching.